Hey, Borcute, what's up, man? I think this is. I think it's the 7X realm. Let's find out. I don't even know. I've had my Warmate account a long time. Let's find out. Yeah, Ice Crown. Careful for gankers. Ah, it's alright. It's weird how every time I log out, my sexy map gets messed up. It like throws it down here for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I've heard of soulframe. Is it even out yet? I thought it was still in development. Yeah, for sure. Hmm. Let's create an account. Envoy title. Reserve your Envoy title and claim Alcus Eye on launch. This will be your username in soulframe. Okay, password. I am over the age of 18. I've read the agreements. Yes, I would like to choose. Okay, let's join us. This account is already registered. I already have a soulframe account, apparently. Let's see if I can figure out what that is. Doesn't surprise me. I almost always create an account for every new MMO. But I don't see it, so interesting. Huh. I don't remember my password. And soulframe password reset password, new password. Only thing is, I don't know what I have no idea what my soulframe account name is. Password has been updated. Alright. We are logged into soulframe. My onboard title is Shady Hacks, which doesn't surprise me. Let me update my password manager for soulframe. Alright, save that. Okay, so game. Blah blah blah. Here's his soulframe. How do you play the game? Is it even out? Play soulframe now. From time you instantly receive soulframe preludes access. Sign up. Download 5K. Download? Downloading a soulframe. So is it actually playable? It's gorgeous graphics, good optimized game, even in alpha state. Nice. What's up, Vals? How's it going? Ever used to try it? I just want to say it's because, yeah, everything's going pretty good. Me and my wife just bought a house, and my wife loves the house. I like the house, so I like the art style they got going on right here with this car, this kind of tarot style looking card. That's pretty cool. Download game. We are downloading a soulframe. Oh, wow, an MSI installer. Interesting. Yeah, thanks, Borka. I hope you're doing well as well. I didn't know that this soulframe was playable. So this is like an alpha, right? Let's check it out. No, definitely we'll check it out here. Let's change the stream title to Warming Hunter and Soul. Actually, let's just change the stream title to, we'll just say MMO stuff. Ramblings, soulframe, wow. Project Epoch. All right, and oh, cool! Wow, the launcher looks sexy. Let's take a look. Oh, wait, oops! I aborted the update. I didn't mean to. It said abort update. Select folder. Is this like my installation folder? Okay. Here, hold on a second. It's not letting me create a folder there, so let's go ahead and create a new folder. How much room do I have on my D drive anyway? No, we got plenty. Let's put on the D drive. Hopefully I spelled that right. Alright, D drive. Soulframe, select folder. You want to last device? Sure. Checking for updates. Hey, what's up, Purdy? How you doing, man? How's it going, Purdy? Hey, Drezzy, what's up? Epoch is this coming Saturday, so 6 days from now. Aggressive download. Aggressive download. Yeah, I'm just waiting on new MMOs. I mean, I think Project Epoch looks like it's going to be super fun, though. So looking forward. Oh, I got some response from Metrics. If you guys are familiar with Metrics, he does a lot of stuff on Private servers. I messaged him last night saying, what do you think about Project Epoch having cross-faction trading mail communications? It's very different from what most traditional classic-inspired private servers. Metrics actually was surprised me. He said, I wish there would be no factions. I hate not being able to play with friends. And I said, oh, so you would like cross-faction? Cool. And he said, absolutely. And I told him I see him on Epoch then. I've been streaming WoW for years. I have a small channel, but I know about your channel as well because I've played a lot of private servers. And he said, nice, nice. I hope we'll be able to log in and play on day one. I'll see you there. So that was pretty cool. I always get a little bit irritated by streamers who can't respond to a simple Discord message. You know, you send them something simple and they don't even bother to respond. That always irritates me a little bit. I don't care how big you are as a streamer. And maybe, if you're like Asmongold level, I understand it because you're probably getting bazillion messages. But if you're someone who's like 20, 30,000 subscribers, you're not getting that many messages. So what are we doing? We're downloading updates. Okay. Ooh. Oh. I'm just kind of enjoying the music. I like it. Okay, let's go ahead and exit it because we're going to hopefully relaunch it because I told it to run in full screen. So let's launch it again and see if it does go full screen. Let's see what we got here. Soulframe. I told it to pin it to start, but I'm not. Wait, here we go. We got one more. There we go. Soulframe. All right. Yeah, it does match my background. So it's still not going full screen. Even though I said full, maybe it'll go full screen once we click enter. That's pretty graphics, isn't it? It's the music, of course. We'll see if I minimize it. Okay, it won't. It's really loud. Those trees look great. They look like a better version of Skyrim. I love the graphics. They look so good. I always hate it when you install a new game and the audio is like insanely loud. And you're like, why is it so loud, you know? Why can't they understand that, you know? Hopefully we'll be able to do audio and background. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to go back and forth between chatting with you guys unless I pulled up the stream on my phone, which I can do. All right.
Remember little minnow.
It's weird. That's so loud.
That night of old.
Okay, it's like insanely loud. Did they kill the bird? Oh, no, they didn't. Okay, the bird's okay. Man, my wife wouldn't have liked that.
Not by sense, but soul. Your Mamie's home.
Your Mamie's home? What's a Mamie? Your mother's? What? What's with this, like, watermark? See the watermark on it? What's with the watermark? Is that because this is like an alpha or something? See the watermark overlaying the whole image? Okay, we've got nudity almost. What's with seeing her undies? That's kind of a weird view.
I remember
What is this? I guess we're picking the tone of our... Oh, okay, so this is our character? 8 thaw tides haze. Like fallen snow. Let's go with the like fallen snow.
Like fallen snow, like petal fair, aglow was she, and oh, her hair.
Diablo style music going on in the background. Very Diablo. Her locks. Now we're doing her hair. Ooh, dreadlocks? Locks of coiled shoots, knotted round like a wevet roots. Notice how they've tried to... Oh no, I can see the watermark over the entire screen. There's like a tree and some others. There's like trees. There's like a watermark of trees, basically. Anyways, locks of a woven crown. I mean the image of the game. Do you see it? Oh, are you seeing it differently? Hold on a second. I have to like Alt-Tab. Is it doing something weird? Yeah, see, I can't tell. The problem is this game is completely like... I can't even tell. Because the game's not running correctly, I don't think, in full screen mode. Because I can't see my other monitor. Okay, now, yeah, I see it now. Okay, now it's in the corner. All right, I can see it now. But I can't fix it, because every time I go to my other monitor... Yeah, I can see it, but I can't fix it, because every time I go to my stream software to fix it, it minimizes the game. So there's no way I can really fix it. We're gonna, it's gonna have to do some, like, different type of game capture to fix it. So, yeah. Once we get the game... Let's just get into the game, then we should hopefully be able to change the graphical settings and fix that. Because that's really more of a graphical setting than a stream software setting. So...
Of coiled shoots, of twisted vines. Such fletching gold shone round her eyes.
They're like going through everything, like it's like the whole character creator is being driven by this, which is an interesting way to do it. I'm just trying to get through this.
Last love she saw was you. I know. Love last it was that sent you so.
If we can just get through this damn character creator. Oh my god, it's Demon Hand. So now the Demon Hand. Choose your frame. I don't know what this is even asking me. Choose my frame? What's the difference? I don't know what this is asking me. Maybe... Oh, wait. Oh, it is changing the character look a little bit. Okay, so I think it's female or male. Let's pick this one, the female. I think it's asking me to pick my sex. If it ever lets us get to the actual settings of the game, we can try to fix the stupid window. But currently it's not running the game in full screen.
Remember this.
This is a creepy game.
We are a family.
Beyond the pale of Odin's sky, live verdant field.
Here, let's... Yeah, I can't fix it, because every time I go to my every time I go to my other screen, it minimizes the game. And it's like screwing up all my browsers too. Let me close these down. Yeah, I can't do anything with it. Just game capture, yeah. Yeah, but it's different. All right, hold on a second. All right, I just chose game capture, and is it working? I see. I can't tell if it's working.
Join us.
See, that's not working. Game capture is not working. All right. Okay, it is working in that it's too small. The problem is I can't get to OBS to fix it, right? Because as soon as I go from this monitor to my OBS monitor, because it's not full screen and I can't move my cursor over, as soon as I switch, the game's going to minimize. Here, let's see if we might be able to do it. Okay, good. We can do it. Sweet. There we go. Hopefully that fixes it. Of course, now I can't see the chat window. I hate this crap. I hate it when games won't let me just fucking... But thanks, Alfred. Appreciate it. Most of the times, I don't have to deal with game capture because obviously I can run the game full screen. Windowed mode. Courage, spirit, grace. So grace looks like an archer. Courage looks like I can't really tell. Or courage looks like some sort of like maybe warrior. Spirit looks like some sort of caster or healer. I wonder what spirit... It doesn't tell like what it really is. We can see that courage has a sword at her waist. Grace has a bow, and spirit must just be some sort of offensive spellcaster. Interesting. Yeah, it's... Here, let me... Hold on a second. Hold on one more second. Why does it keep fucking up? It keeps fucking up my windows, man. I hate it when this shit happens. I hate it when my Schwartz gets twisted. Chief of the Solace Warriors, was she reads in Flaming Fury. Claim the pact of the Fate Champion. Tethrin, raise your sword to the sun, hallelujah. Have courage and a way for warrior's heart is both weapon and armor, and human heart can't crack. I guess these are your abilities. Alright. Yeah, you see, can you see the watermark? See, like there's a watermark over the whole game. See that? I'm assuming that's just because this is like an alpha, maybe? Is that what that is? I don't really know what that is. There's like a watermark of a whole like forest scene. You know, it's like really annoying, though. I'm assuming that's because this is like what, like an alpha? You think it's a graphic bug? I think it's just... I think it's probably because it's like an alpha. The chat window is like way too fucking big. I hate it when they... I can't. It's fucking... I hate when they put these ginormous chat windows in the game that takes up like 20% of the left side of your screen, right? Look, here, how do we, I don't even know how to do the chat. Here we go. Look at the size of this thing. And we can't make it doesn't look like we can make it any smaller than that, right? Yeah. Look at the size of this thing. Here, let's minimize this. Anyways, Alfred, thanks for letting me know about the game. I knew about game capture. The problem was I was just trying to get to the point where I could actually manipulate the OBS window. Because every time I went to OBS, it was minimizing the game and I couldn't see the game. But, yeah. I'm going to be playing a hunter, most likely. I'm going to play a hunter and a paladin. And I will be playing probably the hunter first, just because hunter is a much faster leveler. But I haven't decided. I'm not 100% yet, but those are two classes I'm leaning towards. All right, let's see if we can fix this. Display full screen, borderless full screen. Okay. Okay, save. Okay, how do you release the mouse? Right, there we go. Now, let's try something. Let's get rid of game capture. And there you go. Now everything's back to the way it should be. Now, sound. Do we have sound? I don't see sound in background. Mute when running. There we go. Okay. Alright, escape key. As you can see, now I'm on the other monitor and we still have sound. So now we're good. Also, the graphics changed. The chat window. God, that chat window is really annoying. It won't stop appearing. Where's the fucking... Do we have a dodge roll? Alright, I've seen enough. I mean, it looks okay. It looks okay. I'd have to play around with... I mean, I have to change the keybinds a little bit, change the play around with the camera a little bit. But I mean, the graphics look pretty good, but... Let's go back to what I was doing, which is I kind of not really in the mood to play something like that right now. But I mean, it looks like it's a decent game as far as at least it feels smooth. Graphics seem good. I'm not really into any kind of like Eastern influenced, you know, sword style MMO, but you never know. It could be fun. What I really wish I could play is, I really wish I could get back and play some Chrono Odyssey. Because that was fun. Actually, I don't really feel like playing this either. I really wish I could get back and play some Chrono Odyssey because that was really fun. But yeah, I'm going to be doing like a hunter probably. Also, I was talking to Metrics a little bit, and that was cool that he's going to be playing. I don't know if he said he was going to play Alliance or not. It was funny because I asked him about whether or not he liked the cross faction stuff, just assuming that he wouldn't like it. But his response to cross faction was that he hates it when he can't play, talk to his friends. So he says he wishes there were no factions. which was kind of an interesting take. You don't usually get that from people regarding World of Warcraft. Most people are kind of like the factions, kind of like the Horde versus the Lions. Hold on a second, I gotta fix something. My chair mat was kind of fucked up. That's better. Oh, I'm tired. Project Epoch.
Hello and welcome in. It's time for another Project Epoch class overview, and today we'll be exploring the cunning arts of the rogue. Thank you to Yaxic for providing valuable rogue knowledge that was key in making this video. Alright, you know the drill. Grab a seat in the front row, maybe a snack, and let's begin. We've got a lot of general rogue changes to cover here. The steady energy gain you'd expect from the Wratho Lich King client has been reverted to the TBC style energy tick system on Epoch. Due to a TBC baseline, SAP is now usable without breaking stealth and without any talent investment, unlike vanilla. Slice and Dice can now be extended by bleeds, an interesting change to reduce maintenance of this buff. This opens up new opportunities that I'll talk about later. A common challenge for rogues is hitting your hit rating and expertise caps. On Epoch, these stats are way more prevalent on gear, and thus you won't be locked into certain races for meeting this. Rogues on
So he said that hit rating and what did he say? Hit rating and expertise are more prevalent?
Challenge for rogues is hitting your hit rating and expertise cap.
So he said that on Project Epoch, those stats are going to be a lot more common on gear. So that's gonna make gearing more flexible. And I think that's the most interesting thing about Project Epoch is we just don't really know what all the new gear is going to look like. So if there's a lot more hit rating, which kind of is weird because I wouldn't have thought that they would have added, like when we looked at McDouble's video of him going through Glittermurk mines, like the blue items that were dropping off of mobs, like the power level of those blue items seemed kind of weak for the level of those items. And I don't know if that was a conscious effort, but they talk about Project Epoch being more challenging, like the content, the world leveling and stuff should be like more difficult than what you'd normally expect. And it better be more difficult than TBC or Wrath of Lich King because they're pretty much garbage in my opinion. So if that's the case, you have to be careful about putting too much stats on gear because once again, the power creep, you're going to make things too easy. So I don't know. I mean, it could just be that they're saying, okay, a really good gear that isn't like super overpowered gear as far as like, strength, whatever, strength, agility. It still is going to have maybe some of those key stats like hit rating or just to help you get to those cap thresholds. But we'll see. It's all up in the air.
On Epoch, these stats are way more prevalent on gear, and thus you won't be locked into certain races for meeting this. Rogues on Epoch can now use axes, and that comes with a talent in the combat tree. Wait, does that mean a rogue could use the super slow Deathbringer or maybe a flurry axe? There's lots of new theory crafting to explore, so stay curious.
That was something that came up that I thought about too. Like flurry axe And if you guys have ever watched me play WoW much, you'll know that I'm a big fan of flurry axes. I mean, they're fantastic for the two classes I tend to play the most, which is Protection Paladin and Melee Hunter. Which Melee Hunter is kind of a, I don't want to say it's a meme, but I like to play a very bizarre build, hybrid build that I like to do that just because it's fun, not because it's necessarily like the best build, but because it's a fun build. But Flurry Axe, and I'm trying to think which talent. Flurry Axe is going to be really interesting because if Flurry Axe is, because I think it was Paladin is what I was thinking. Paladins, because of the way the talents work, are going to have access to Holy Shield and stuff as early as like level 35. Yeah, so they're going through their talents a little. They have access to abilities earlier than they normally would, like in vanilla, for example. But it's going to be interesting. So I don't know about hunters. I don't think there's anything in the hunter trees that's going to be that, you know, have such a huge benefit. But the fact that a rogue could possibly use a flurry axe seems like incredibly overpowered. Like think about a rogue, you know, who's specialized in like, you know, poison damage, for example. Let's take a look at let's take a look at the rogue talent tree, right? Let's say you're a rogue, and let's say you're going for like here, improved poisons. Let's say we go here, here, and vial poisons increases the damage dealt by your poisons and availability by 20%. Gives your all poisons an additional 40%. So right off the bat, if you have flurry, let's say you're dual wielding flurry axes, you're going to be getting more attacks, which gives you more abilities to proc application of your poisons. And if you're using instant poison, I mean that's going to really spike your damage like a lot, I would think. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, as if flurry axes weren't like overpriced enough in most private servers, you know what I mean, or most like servers in general. Like if you go to like a vanilla private server or a vanilla classic server, flurry axes are very expensive. Imagine if rogues can be equipping flurry axes and going with like a poison build that just insanely increases their output DPS, their output burst DPS. Can you imagine how much worse the cost of flurry axes is going to be? It's going to be stupid high, like stupidly expensive, right?
In the combat tree, the first row talent Lightning Reflex now gives 10% agility instead of dodge, a decent buff to an important stat. I bring this up in the general section because this could be an easy...
Holy shit, maybe we need to play a rogue. This is like, God, that's like... Okay, let's take a look at TBC... Wow, TBC talent calculator. I want to see... Well, I didn't remember that was dodge. Let's go to rogue and take a look at... Okay, so this is dodge. So lightning reflexes is normally dodge. So if we go here, lightning reflexes is now agility. So that's, again, that's a huge... Why? I mean, honestly, when you think about the classes, like when you think about a class in TBC, what class needs more DPS output? You don't think rogue. Like I would never look at the TBC talent tree and say if we're going to do anything and modify these talents for certain classes, I wouldn't say, well, let's increase the damage a rogue can do. But giving a rogue's ability to have access to axes and giving them light reflexes as agility as opposed to dodge right away gives them pretty good buffs. And these are buffs in my opinion, and they're strong buffs. So I'm a little surprised that they're doing that. 10% more agility. Yeah, that's a little surprising.
Easy talent to pick up for any kind of rogue. Combo points will no longer be removed when clicking off your target.
They won't be removed when clicking off your target, but if you gain another combo point after you've switched to your target, I believe it resets it to 1.
And you can now use the ability Redirect to move your combo points to any target. Improved Expose Armor is now moved deeper into the Assassination tree, but any rogue can extend the Expose Armor debuff without replacing the improved effect. And Expose Armor counts as 5 sunders for Prot Warrior's Devastate ability, so don't worry about that interaction on Epoch. Poisons now scale with about 2% of your attack power. This should smooth out your scaling and give you a nice boost, especially if you're playing Assassination. Blind is now a physical spell, which means it can't be removed by abilities like Abolish Poison or Stone Form. The infamous and
great, more buffs for rogues.
Cloak of Shadows is attainable through a new quest at level 38.
Interesting.
Finally, on the more flavor end, the devs have emphasized lockpicking will have lots of more uses throughout the world, like a locked door at the start of Scholomance. Okay, let's talk about subtlety.
Scholomance.
This will be a pretty short section. Subtlety has no specific PvE changes, but they aren't particularly played outside of PvP anyway. In PvP, there was a small nerf to cheat death. It's still strong, but the damage reduction at most gear levels will end up being lower than the original ability. Instead of a flat 90% DR, you will receive double your dodge chance in damage reduction up to 90%. It will be possible to pop cheat death and die shortly after before your dodge has scaled enough. Of course, being able to use the capstone talent Shadow Step combined with redirect is great for subtlety PvP, as you can now switch targets and surprise enemies mid-combat. That's all for subtlety. I know it was short, but this spec is pretty complete in TBC and has a strong baseline. The lack of changes doesn't mean subtlety is any weaker in PvP. Okay, on to combat. As you know from earlier, you will now be able to use axes and invest into the new combat talent, Axe Specialization. This talent actually synergizes well with keep.
Alright, so we are going to have axes. We are going to have axe specialization. Gives you 1% chance to cause your target to bleed for 100% weapon damage over 50 seconds after hitting them with an axe. Okay. Flexion. Interesting. I'm just surprised by some of these changes. Gives you 5% chance to cause your target to bleed. 100% weapon damage. 5% is not a super high percentage. And 5 talent points is a lot of talent points. I'm not sure if really putting 5 talent points. I mean, 5%. I mean, okay, so again, that plays into Flurry Axe again, though, right? Think about that. If you only have a 5% chance to proc this ability, what's going to make you have a greater chance to proc? Well, it means, faster attack speed, more attacks. Well, there's nothing really faster than dual Flurry Axes. So, I mean, I can just see everybody drooling at this point, thinking they're going to build a combat rogue with dual Flurry Axes with axe specialization. The other thing that's interesting is this axe specialization, can it proc multiple times, right? I'm assuming it can't, right? I'm assuming that once you have like one of these bleeds up on the target, it's not going to stack bleeds, right? Because if it did, it would be like insanely powerful. Imagine procking this like 3 or 4, like maybe, let's say you proc it 3 times, right? Let's say you're using dual flurry axes and you proc like 3 flurries. So maybe you swing like 5 times and you get like 8 attacks. And like 3 of those attacks proc your axe specialization. I mean, it's just, this could get out of hand really quickly, but I'm going to guess that you could only have one of these bleeds, these additional bleeds going at a time. So that would make sense.
Keeping your slice and dice up without much effort. In PvE, this could amount to more finisher variety in your...
And again, that's another good point that I didn't mention, is that you're going to want to use, of course, I mean, if you're running combat, you're usually going to want to keep your slice and dice up anyway, and even in general, even in PvP, keeping slice and dice up is actually really useful. It just means more damage, and it really comes down to combo points. I mean, if you're using combo points to control a target in PvP, you're not really going to have slice and dice up. But if a target's locked down by somebody else, let's say that you've got 2 rogues, or somebody else hits a target and stuns them, well then yeah, just use your combo points to get slice and dice up and just go to town. At that point, you're just trying to push output damage. Really, especially if you're trying to kill like a flag carrier, or Warsun Gulch, or something like that, or like a healer or something. You're just pushing for a lot of output DPS, and you don't really care about the fact that because someone else is handling like maybe the CCs, or maybe you're just going to throw a kick in there or something. But it's all situation based. But flurry axes are unique for sure, yeah. But it's just. It's just going to be really interesting.
Have to keep spending combo points and energy on slice and dice upkeep. Also, combat potency should actually be
wait.
effective.
Let me read this. Hear this again.
Specialization. This talent actually synergizes well with keeping your slice and dice up without much effort. In PvE, this could amount to more finisher variety in your normal rotation, as you don't have to keep spending combo points and energy on slice and dice upkeep. Also, combat potency.
Okay, I don't really understand why you wouldn't want to keep. I don't understand what he's saying here. He's saying that you don't have to spend as much energy trying to keep your slice and dice up. Why not? I mean, I would think you'd still want to keep slice and dice up, because this is saying a 5% chance to cause your target to bleed. I'm assuming that's per hit. And slice and dice makes you attack faster. So if you're using slice and dice, you know. Yeah, Flurry Axe is not unique. You can dual wield flurries. I mean, I do it all the time on my hunter. Right? Let's see, do we have one up? Let's hold on a second. What's up, Vision? How's it going? Are you saying on Epoch you can only have one Flurry Axe equipped? Is that what you're saying? Is that what he's saying? But it doesn't say that in the tooltip. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought he was saying, but it doesn't say that in the tooltip. So it's like, where's he getting that from? Right? Right.
Good day to you. Safe travels.
Equip your first epic. Yeah, I don't think that's my first epic. Stealing. Oh, it says on the website?
How are you?
Yeah. Here, let's...
See you later.
My character's on the left because I have a because I'm using action cam, right? So if you go into classic WoW and you create a macro and say /console action cam full, here, if you put this into a macro, you can offset your camera. Action cam is something that's built into the World of Warcraft Classic, the 1.14 client. It'll actually offset the camera like this. All right. I don't know if we have, do I have? So anyways, you can see here, I'm dual wielding Flurry Axes, right? Right, so you can definitely dual wield Flurry Axes in vanilla WoW. I mean, I'm dual wielding Flurry Axes right now, right? Like flurry, right? Now, I don't know if you were saying that semi-silent. Oh, you just thought, okay, you said you swear you thought. Okay, yeah, you can definitely dual wield flurries. I mean, I do it all the time on my melee hunters, right? So now, obviously, on a paladin, you're not going to be dual wielding flurry axes, but on a rogue, you could, right? If you look at the axe, I mean, it's basically just soulbound one hand, 1.5 attack speed. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be insane. So if we go to you were saying on the Epoch site, right? Let's go to the spellbook. Actually, it's rogue. Let's go to rogue. Let's go to spellbook, and I think it was assassination, right? If we look at, where did you say you saw it? You said finishing move that increases melee attack speed by 20% and causes your bleed damage to increase the duration. Okay, so it's on the tooltip of slice and dice. Yeah, so he should have, in this video, he should have mentioned that. Maybe he mentioned it earlier. I don't think he did.
without much effort. In
Yeah.
PvE, this could amount to more
He didn't really mention it in the, up to this point, I don't think he mentioned it in the video. So it kind of was like, I didn't know. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
fisher variety in your normal rotation.
But that's a good point. Because bleeds have the chance to increase the duration of slice and dice, then yeah, I mean, axe specialization. You know, I think many people still on retail also didn't expect that. Yeah.
As you don't have to keep spending combo points and energy on slice and dice upkeep. Also, combat potency should actually be more effective due to an abundance of hit and expertise earlier in your scaling. Remember, gain closer to combat potency over a straightforward high difficulty. I know it was short, but this should actually be more effective due to an abundance of hit and expertise earlier in your scaling.
So he's saying there's more access to hit earlier in scaling. So I'm assuming he probably is going to meet in either talent points or in gear. Hit rating on the rogue tree is here. Let's take a look at the TBC. Hit rating is in the same place, so really no difference there. But he did mention the fact that, yeah, I wonder about that too, Alfred, because they talk about you can level via blood. So like if you go to the Epoch website, this is a Project Epoch, and you go to features PvP, level, it's right here, it's level by blood. Additionally, low-level players can find PvP of their own at vendors outside Battleground interests, such as the Morshon Rampart and the Barrens for the Horde, Silverwing Grove and Ashvale, that's pretty much always been there. This gear can be upgraded for discount, allowing you to maintain strong gear set while you level up. I thought it said here. Where does it say it? Here it is, level through bloodshed. For those who thrive in chaos, Project Epoch offers a bold path forward, leveling through world PvP, which with War Mode enables slaying enemies in the open world grants you bonus experience, allowing you to reach level 60. It does say that the experience gain is dynamically tuned to assure a fair and intentional leveling pace, meaning that if you just level strictly by killing people, it's not supposed to be really faster than any kind of regular leveling process. But hopefully it's still fast enough that it's viable for leveling. It doesn't have to be as fast, but as long as it's fairly fast. You know what I mean? Then a lot of people are going to do that. I think the server could be just crazy PvP. This server could be, this server could be, is going to be, it could be. I think this server is going to be an insanely, wildly popular server for PvP because there's so many people that are just chomping at the bit to show off how good they are at PvP in World of Warcraft and make a name for themselves by streaming it. There's always people that want to do that, but this is more exciting because of the fact that there's so much stuff about it that we don't know. There's so much gear and dungeons and loot and stuff we don't know. And then I think also the fact that you're not worried too much about the stuff being invalidated so quickly. So like if you're playing like on a classic like Burning Crusade server, it's like, oh yeah, great, I'm going to be like really good at PvP for like maybe a year, and then the server is going to go off into the next, WoW expansion, and maybe my class isn't as good in PvP in that next expansion, so maybe I got to switch to a different class or something. I can't dominate on the priest like I could in Wrath of the Lich King like I couldn't, or like Rogue or whatever. So where here it's a little bit different. I think everything's going to remain. I mean, they've said they are going to probably eventually roll out, new content that could make a big difference, but they said it'll be so far in the future. It sounds like it would be like multiple years away. Like they don't anticipate making drastic changes to the classes in any time soon. They've already done everything that they want to do as far as, there may be some small tuning changes if there's any like really wildly imbalanced things that come up, which probably mostly will come up through gear. I wouldn't imagine it would come up too much through this talents, but it could, but they'll try to fix those types of issues. Yeah, so I think the server is going to be incredibly popular PvP wise. I just think it will be.
Remember, there will be lots more of these stats available on gear compared to typical vanilla or TBC itemization. In PvP, subtlety has historically outshined combat, but potentially with new weapon variety, a straightforward high damage build while sacrificing the tools of subtlety could be possible. Okay, finally, let's talk about assassination.
Well, again, I just see assassination benefiting from flurry axes. I see flurry axes as being so strong. I can't see how flurry axes wouldn't be almost overpowered for rogues.
Lots to talk about with assassination. Poison scaling with attack power, vile poisons, the raid buff changes to curse of elements, and storm strike means.
Okay, Curse of Elements increases nature damage, and as we all know, poison is nature damage. And this is now most of the buffs. A lot of the buffs that used to be like group buffs are now like raid buffs. You know, like so. So from a PvE point of view, Curse of Elements, you're probably always going to have this buff on your rogue when you're in raids and stuff. So you're always going to have this increase to your poison damage, which is nice. And then here, Storm Strike is also nature damage. So you have a couple of different raid buffs that are going to increase your poison damage.
You'll be doing a lot more damage through poisons. Improved poisons now also grants a longer duration. This is important as it will funnel into the new Envenom. Everything I've mentioned directly buffs this ability.
This is the only channel. I mean, I got to give this guy a lot of credit. I've never heard of Muzzy before, and he doesn't have hardly any subscribers. But his videos are the only ones I've seen where he actually has taken the time to cover the actual changes. There's so many videos I see on people theory crafting Project Epoch, but all they're doing is theory crafting what they know of TBC talents. They're not theory crafting into like the changes that are actually coming from Project Epoch. And then actually not only theory crafting those, but showing them on the screen. These are the changes, and this is the difference between this versus, TBC. And it's really the only channel I found that clearly shows this,
Some huge Envenom hits here. And finally, take note that Envenom now also increases your chance to apply poisons by 10% for a second per combo point spent. The talent Vigor has been improved to grant an additional 10 energy and also increase your energy regeneration, smoothing out your playstyle and making the energy gain closer to combat potency over the duration of a fight. And as mentioned before, you have access to improved exposed armor, a highly sought after raid buff, if you will. Mutilate still requires daggers, but no longer has a positional requirement, an amazing quality of life improvement, and in fact, a bit of a buff. Overall, Assassination's PvE playstyle is now much more dynamic and plays more into its poisoner fantasy. Now in PvP, Mutilate not being positional is a decent buff, and Venom being stronger is a pretty big buff against high armor enemies, and there are lots of fun opportunities with the spec to create big crits. That can mean better kill potential in a tight moment. Note, by going Assassination, you will be giving up some typically sought after subtlety tools. Also, there is a new talent for Assassination you can experiment with in PvP called Poison Knife. It seems a little awkward with the duration reduction, but it acts as a ranged version of Shiv. Now, onto the dungeon tier set. The 4-piece is negligible. The 6-piece is a nice benefit for the kidney shot, but most likely the Slice and Dice and Expose Armor won't see the most use as they will be upkept pretty easily. The 8-piece has changed since the tooltip was made, and there's no accurate tooltip to show you guys. The devs have rumored it will be a 20% chance on cast for 20 energy. It's nerfed from this version due to testing, but still a nice benefit that will smooth out your gameplay. In leveling, combat is the efficient, most practiced leveling spec. It's unchanged and still great for that. Lots of flexibility in different weapon types as you level as well. Subtlety, however, is a great choice for war mode levelers who may have skirmishes during their journey.
Man, I think that if you're going to level rogue, like if you're going to go in war mode, you got to go subtlety. I just don't see how you can't go subtlety, man. People talk about how this server is going to have tons of like paladins, for example. I mean, this server, looking at the changes to rogue, especially the fact that you can use axes and that change to agility. I mean, I already figured there'd be a ton of rogues on the server, but looking at these changes, I think there's going to be even more. I mean, this makes me want to play a rogue. I used to play rogue back in the original TBC a lot. Me and my brother we used to play dual rogues together in Battlegrounds. We would do that every day. We'd get home from work. And we, you know, actually, this is when me and my brother actually lived in the same loft in Chicago. And we would get home from work and we would sit down and we would just fire up our computers and we would do Battlegrounds all night long, dual rogue. And we would just dominate because we knew like our play styles so well that like Arathi Basin, like Goldmine or something, we always know who was going to use which cooldown where. So like if there was like 2 or 3 or 4 enemies coming down the hill, we always know who was going to do the first opener, who was going to follow up with the second CC, who was going to go for the first eviscerate, who was going to go for the blind. We always knew who was doing what. So we were deadly. And so I played a lot of Rogue in TBC and in Wrath of the Lich King back in the original, but I didn't really play much Rogue since then. Like since then, I kind of get away from Rogue. But this definitely makes me want to play Rogue. But it's funny, every one of these videos I watch where we talk about some of the changes in Project Epoch makes me want to play. My favorite classes in WoW have always been pretty much Paladin, Hunter, Rogue, and Priest. Those are the classes I pretty much play the most. And I haven't played as much Priest and Rogue in the past like 3 years. Because I played predominantly like Hunter and Paladin.
Destination attack power scaling for poisons doesn't quite hit early enough for leveling to feel different in this spec, so don't expect too much change here. For profession optimization, you could think about crafting your own gear or temporary leg buffs with leatherworking, or maybe blacksmithing to craft some new custom daggers we haven't discovered yet. There's a lot of choices here, so just go out and explore all the different possibilities.
I think
for racial
from they're talking about those like armor kits that are like temporary armor kits, almost like when you think of like a blacksmith making like a sharpening stone. Leatherworking now has stuff like that where you can create like these temporary armor kits that last. I'm assuming they just last for a certain amount of time, and it'll increase like your attack power on your leg armor or something weird. But I think that would be pretty good for a rogue. I mean, obviously it's self-made and easy to acquire. The other thing that is always really good, obviously, is alchemy. Alchemy just looks good across the board.
Optimization, rogues are probably the most reliant class on hitting their expertise cap. So if you don't have it from gear, it's probably best to swap your racials at 60 to something that will give you the extra last bit through that race's weapon proficiency. However, Orc is always great, but Troll Haze could be really good for proccing combat potency a lot or applying your poisons more rapidly. Undead, of course, is really great as a PvP choice with Will of the Forsaken. Another thank you to Yaxic and of course you all in the audience for joining me once again. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about all the rogue changes and are you excited to try the class out? And yes, we've done it. We finally finished a class overview series for Project Epoch. I started this about a month ago, my first YouTube project ever, and I couldn't have done this without the support of you guys. So thank you so much. Subscribe if you want to see more Project Epoch.
They nerfed the race abilities.
Of course, join me July 26th on the launch and going forward because I'll be streaming.
The 50% heal reduce wasn't there before? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Which one is that? I think that's oh, where's it at? Features. You're talking about which one is it? You're talking about the undead, right? The undead. I think it was the priest one. Wasn't like, I think there's the priest. Here, hold on a second. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, but if you go to priest, spell book, and then go to racial, and then go to Akir, it's oh, in the video? Where was the 50% heal reduced? I didn't see it. Was it Blood Fury? I didn't read the tooltip. I'm sorry, I missed that. I actually missed that.
Swap your proficiency is always great, but troll
Increase attack. No, that was always there. No, that's always been there. Yeah. Blood the reductions, and the reason I know that's always been there is because I played an orc once in Vanilla WoW, and I was in Stone Talon Mountains. Yeah, it's always been there. I was in Stone Talon Mountains, and one time I popped a healing potion, and I ended up getting, and it didn't heal me hardly at all, and I couldn't figure out why. And then someone in the stream said that's because you just popped a Blood Flurry a few seconds before. And when Blood Fury is up, you have 50% reduced healing on all healing effects. So I popped a healing potion to try to save myself. in a tight spot, and my heal came through at like 100 healing, and I was expecting like 250. And it was because I had popped Blood Flurry, and I didn't know that because I don't play I don't play Horde a lot. I certainly don't play Orc that much, and so that was a kind of a learning experience for a little bit of a learning curve. But yeah, that's always been there. So it's always been there. I just every time I try to play anything, all I end up doing in my streams the last couple of days is just talking about Epoch. Because I'm still not 100% sure. I'm like 90% sure that I'm going to play Hunter, but I'm not like 100% sure. So if we look at he did the video. Oh, here's add-on setup. Let's take a look at his add-on setup guide.
Hello and welcome in. Today we've got another Project Epoch class overview. Wait, sorry, I gotta take this call. Hello? What do you mean? We're not doing another Project Epoch class overview? But Skeets has been asking for a Death Knight overview. You probably end up on their homepage, but go to how to play, and then over here you can set up your account. But we're looking to download a client, so download their client here. This is a Wrath of the Lich King client. This is a this video. This is really important. Note where this is, because this is where actually you got add one. Now click on any of these clients, because the Lich ones on the left.
Okay, so he's going to Fellbite. All right. So I don't think I've been to Fellbite. So it looks like Fellbite. Fellbite's a private server, isn't it? Is it like a private Wrath server? Because if you go to, let's see, Fellbite. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, we can go private servers or go add-ons, and then I'm assuming it does it by expansion, and then just Wrath of Lich King. So yeah, so this is another one. I mean, I've got multiple ones. So there's this one here we have for finding add-ons. You can also just do a search for WoW, which I've done, Wrath of the Lich King add-ons, and you can find Legacy WoW one here. And then there's also, if you just do a search for Warmane add-ons, right? And go to Warmane add-ons, you're going to end up going to their forums, and there'll be a post on add-ons here. And if you go here and go all the way to the top, the download link is quite below. And you can see here's a download link here. So this will just download like kind of not a it'll download some add-ons, not like a ton, but it'll definitely download some. If you go to, let's see, Wild Things to Save, it's going to download these add-ons here. So it's quite a few. There's some pretty good add-ons in here, you know, Quest Helper course. Some of the ones you guys probably are going to end up using, like Recount. You know, some people might use Xpearl, Sexy Map. I like Sexy Map, Recount, like I said, Quartz, Quest Helper, Postal, OmniCC, Omen, Mixed Scrolling Battle Text. I highly recommend using that. So that's cool. So we've got 3 different ways we can get add-ons already. And I took the time, you know, as you guys saw, like I still haven't, that's probably something I'm going to do more tonight. I still haven't completely like perfected the add-ons I'm going to be using for Epoch. I've gotten it down to a lot of the ones I know I'm going to be using. We go here into Warmane, right? And we log into my Hunter. And oh, hey, what's up, Jen? So Warpers. So here's like, let's see. So here you can see that I've got this Warmane client set up with a pretty clean interface. And I spent a lot of time, not a lot of time, but I spent, you know, I was dicking around with this about an hour, I think yesterday, you know, or yesterday, the day before yesterday, getting this set up. And this doesn't use a ton of add-ons. You know, we're using Sexy Map, we're using Bartender, we're using Recount. Also, I found a weak aura too. And so I want to play around with that tonight, setting up some weak auras for Wrath of the Lich King, because weak auras are really, really cool if you can get the right one set up properly. One thing that I noticed with this on the Warmane, and I don't know if this is going to be a problem on Epoch, is I'm not seeing my pet's health bar. So right now we have my pet abilities down here, but we don't see my pet's health anywhere on the screen. So there's seems to be no pet health bar. So I don't know if that's, I don't know why that's like that. The only way I can think that maybe I got rid of it. Let's see if there is a pet. There is pets. Okay, so I think what happened is I might have inadvertently closed it down. So let's go ahead and take this guy. We'll move it right about here. I probably just inadvertently got rid of that. My pet's obviously really hungry. And do I have a... I think I do. That's cool. I didn't know why that wasn't showing up. So And what was the one you said? You said there's also Warperia 2, which just has an updated, it's an updated Fellbite. Okay. We'll put these together in like a list, right? Oh, this is where I grab my Kui nameplates, it looks like. Interesting, because I'm a huge fan of Kui nameplates, right? So you can see this is actually where I downloaded Kui, which is my favorite nameplate add-on. So okay, and we have category. We want, where do we filter by expansion? Here, we're already on Wrath of the Lich King, so we got this one, and that's good. Thanks, Shinteki. You highly suggest getting the ones the wiki. What do you mean the ones from the wiki? Is there a wiki? Are you saying that like Epoch has a wiki? I'm not sure what you're saying there. I think you kind of mistyped it. From the wiki, right? Is it what, in their Discord? Is it Project Add-on Wiki? All right, where's it at? Is it on there? Point me in the right direction. You guys are ahead of the game, man. You can pinned on the add-on section of the Discord. Okay, all right, cool. Let's check it out. All right, let's check it out. Oh, also, I did get a response from Metrics yesterday, which was cool. I asked Metrics about Project Epoch having cross-faction, what he thought about that. And he said he wished there'd be no factions. He says he hates not being able to play with friends. So I thought that was interesting that Metrics was had that kind of opinion. And you're saying it's on the, you said it was pinned. It's just a Google Project Epoch add-on wiki. Ice Crown is 7x. Yes, it is, Danny. The add-on section of the Discord. Let's see, add-ons. Do they have a list? It's weird because this is interesting that these says TBC add-ons, because remember, the client is, did I go past it? The client is not TBC, it's Wrath of the Lich King. Okay. So it's this one here. Okay. I definitely won't be using LVUI. I hate LVUI. GUI window with day and night cycle information. This one will be really useful, I think. Add-ons and add-ons auto logging saving. Atlas loot, group bulletin. If there's a version of your bulletin board looking for group. PF Quest Wrath of Lich King. That plus PF Quest. Okay, now that's going to be useful. We're going to want these. Right? Let's go. Wild things to save. I have way too many. Wow, I've got way too much World of Warcraft crap on my computer, man. Way too much World of Warcraft crap. Let's do. Just gonna do an Epoch WoW folder. We're gonna add a new folder inside that for add-ons. All right, so we just grabbed. We don't need soulframe. All right. Didn't really mean to download that one. Which one was that? We just downloaded PF Quest. And all right. So we'll grab these. Well, I'll do this offline. I don't want to make you guys watch me do this, but Popular add-ons: Bartender, Big Devs, Bagnon. I mean, it looks like we've got most of the ones. I don't see Kui in here, which is fine. We'll try to play voiceover. I use voiceover for it. It's fun for a while, but it gets annoying after a while. Retail UI brings the modern retail WoW UI to Project Epoch. That's why would you want that? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Why would you want the modern? Would you guys want to see that? Would you guys want to see? Yeah, I mean, I use Move UI. I mean, like, if you look here, if you look at the add-ons that I've set up, these are like some of my most favorite add-ons, right? I'm using Bartender, Kui, Mixed Scrolling Valtics, Move Anything, you know, Opie, which is amazing. I hope we can use Opie in Project Epoch, Quartz Recount, Sexy Map, and Snowfall Key Press. I don't know if we're going to need Snowfall Key Press, but if we do, we're definitely going to grab it because we need the abilities to actuate when we press the button down. Yeah, LVUI is trash. I can't stand LVUI. The only problem I have with the Dragonflight one's like okay. It's not like I don't like the mini map. The biggest thing I hate about the Dragonflight UI is the mini map is just so hideous. Snowfall Key Press. Okay, so here I'll disable Snowfall Key Press and I'll show you what it is. Right. So if I go into here and I see this bear here, if I hit the Serpent Sting ability here, well, this guy killed the. We need to kill something. Let's go kill a crab, I guess. So when you push a button down in Wrath of the Lich King client, the skill doesn't do anything until you release the button. So I'm going to use my mouse to demonstrate. I'm going to left-click Serpent Sting, and I'm just going to hold down the mouse button. Well, I fucked it up. God damn it. I released it because I had no target. Sorry about that. I fucked it up. Okay, so if I go up to here and I select a target, when I left-click Serpent Sting, notice how I'm left-clicking on my Serpent Sting here. See, right here, I'm left-clicking on it. It's not doing anything. That's because abilities in Wrath of the Lich King don't actuate on key press. They actuate on key release. Okay? Right? So now I'm just gonna... So nothing happens. It didn't do anything, right? Snowfall Key Press will change that. And that's a big deal in PvP because you don't want that split second of you having to click a button and releasing it could be the difference between you getting off a sap or a gouge or some ability in PvP. It could be the difference between winning an encounter and losing an encounter. So yeah, I think the PF Quest Epoch was good. The Atlas loot as it gets updated, I'm a little surprised that they're doing Atlas loot, Jen, because they talked about not making like the new stuff available. I thought they weren't going to do that. I thought they weren't even going to allow that, right? So now if I go back in and I turn on Snowfall Key Press, right? And I go in here and now when I left click the button, notice it's still not working. Okay, hold on. So maybe it doesn't work for the mouse click. Hold on a second. Yeah, so you notice that I'm still pressing the D. So it works for the keyboard, not the mouse click. Like I've not released the D key since I hit this skill. I just pushed down D and I held it down. I've been holding down the entire time. So in Snowfall Key Press, if I didn't have that and I held down D here on the D key, it wouldn't do anything. But now I can hold down the D button, of course, whatever, and it'll just automatically work. Yeah, but I'm surprised at the Atlas thing that they're doing that. Let's take a look at where was it? So retail UI, do we still have that open? I don't like the mini map on retail UI. I don't mind the bar here. It's if we can the thing that gets me is the size of the UI is too large. Also the bar, it's a little see how high off the bottom of the screen it is. So I would have to play around with that and see how well it works. Yeah, it's only it's going to take a while for that. But I don't know if I would use I don't know if I would use this UI. My favorite UI is Guild Wars 2 UI. But I don't think we're going to have a Guild Wars 2 UI for Project Epoch. I wish we would. That would be great. All right, so Postal, I mean, if we need the mail add-on, I can't believe in Wrath of the Lich King we need the mail add-on, because really the Postal add-on just allows you to, like, and increase the amount of items you could like mail at once, I think. But plate buffs, you know, again, pretty useful. But if you're using something like what I use QE nameplates, which we probably will use plate buffs actually. Plate buffs is pretty strong. Omni CC I'll definitely be using. Oh, light up your items by adding a quality border to them. I definitely would not use that. Energy monitor, don't care. No plater. Plater imitation add-on. No, I wouldn't move anything. Yes, of course. I always use move anything in these versions of the game. Mini map. No, I would never use this stupid thing that. Mixed Mathematics, of course, one of my all-time favorite add-ons. Leatrix maps. I like to use Leatrix maps. It's saying install full world map plus magnify. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm not familiar with Moz full world map or magnify, but I would be interested in seeing how these work. This is one of the things that it adds autocomplete. Yeah, open all. It did do an open all. Yeah, you're right. I knew there was more to it than just adding additional, but the thing is, here's the thing too. Like, I'll set up a lot of these add-ons ahead of time before I ever log in to the game. Like when we do log in the name reservation, we'll probably make sure that we've had all the add-ons installed that we want and that they work. But unfortunately, I didn't get time in the stress test to really set that stuff up. So, you know, it's one of those it's one of the things with World of Warcraft that always sucks. You know, add-ons are cool, but they're also a pain in the butt, you know. But yeah, QE nameplates is my favorite. Don't need immersion, guild party invite, automatic invite guild members to groups. Yeah, gather plus gather DB Wowhead. This will be probably one that we'll want to get. Now the Diablo 3 UI, let's see which one this one is. Do we have a screenshot of it? Oh, why are these going to... Look at these links are going to Wayback Machine. Did you see that? Why are these links... These links are actually going to Wayback Machine to download these. Wow. Somebody was doing some serious research, right? To get some of these things, man. Gather here. I don't know. That's a little crazy going to Wayback Machine to get some of these things. That's a little. I mean, do we know for certain that these things work? Well, it shows the dedication, but it's also kind of like, I mean, that means I hope somebody. I mean, obviously, we're hoping that they've tested these things out, right? So we got PF Quest to Epoch. So let's go ahead and let's go to download. There should be a main, right? Yeah, main. Then we probably should just rename this. Rename the folder to Epoch, which is pretty much what we figured. So. We'll throw this one in here, but let's extract files here. Let's get rid of this file. Let's just go ahead and have this ready to rock and roll. Gather DB Wowhead. Huh. I'm just wondering if it needs to be called Gather DB Wowhead or if it's just Gather DB. I would assume it's just Gather DB, but it doesn't say to rename it. But I'm going to assume that you would need to rename this. No, it says Gather DB.Wowhead. Interesting. Yeah, DB Wowhead. Yeah. Get add-on metadata, gather DB underscore Wowhead version. Yeah, okay. So no, that's fine. What was this one? Add-on that shows a GUI window with the day-night cycles. This one's really cool. I'm excited about this one actually. See how that works, you know. All right, so we got this one. We got Epoch. We didn't grab that one. Here's the Diablo. We're not going to grab the Diablo UI just yet. I wish I could get a screenshot of what this looks like. Certain Diablo UIs actually look pretty good, but some of them don't look so good. So, yeah, Wayback Machine. And the other thing we have to do is do the Epoch. Where's the quest? PF quest. Where did it go? Same thing with this one. We shouldn't. Yeah. Yeah. I've never understood why they do that with the naming. Like why they, why they call it like master. All right, PF Quest Epoch. We got Wowhead, which I believe is the right one. We're just going to get all these things ready to rock and roll. This one's weird. Okay, so that one looks pretty good. Gather. I'm going to leave this zip file in here just for default GitHub branch. Yeah, I think that's what it is. You're just surprised that they wouldn't package it up without it, I guess. Maybe, yeah, master is the branch name. Yeah. Well, I'm getting replaced soon. Aver will. You need the Epoch database one. I think. Yeah, I've got the here's the Epoch and here's the PF Quest. So this is just the regular PF Quest, and then here's the Epoch. So what other add-ons might we? I mean, let's go. I mean, do we need the group bulletin board or the looking for group? I can't. I don't know. I can't imagine we would. We might as well. We'll just grab these. Epoch Auto, a patch for the Project Epoch client that adds auto logon saving features. Okay. Sure, why not? Why not, right? Atlas Loot, Epoch Auto Login. And then there's the Atlas loot. Atlas loot for Project Epoch. We're going to extract that here. We're going to rename the folder to main. Going to delete the zip folders. Actually, no, let's get rid of the. Let's get rid of all that. So you don't have to constantly look at the mess that will be well. Yeah, I used bulletin board before, and I can't remember which version of WoW it was, but I used it before, and it actually was useful. It was like a little board that would show up on the top, and it would just kind of filter stuff, like you said. So actually, it was useful. Yeah, it was useful. I'm definitely not going to use LVOI. I can't stand LVOI, and it felt thin man. Ooh, let's take a look at that. That might be worth using. I don't want to. I want to try to stay away from using too many add-ons. Right? We're definitely going to use bartender. Probably going to use big D. I love big debuffs. Automatic fixes the combat log when it breaks. Keeps other combat add-ons running smoothly. That's kind of cool. I like the sound of that. Chat as support. As much support chat. Do not care. Dominoes. Gather. I think we grabbed gather already, right? Didn't we? I thought we did. Ooh, bartender 4. Select your expansion. Wow. Well, where do I select my expansion? Because it ain't letting me. This is not my expansion. So that's obviously not right. Add-ons. Where the fuck is the... whatever. We don't need this. Look at these going to the Wayback Machine again. That's crazy. Yeah, these are Mr. Pandaria. Get rid of. Bartender 4. Gather DB. I think we already grabbed Gather. Abbreviated status. Yeah, we grabbed Gather already. The abbreviated status is an interesting one. Here, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Get rid of the master file. We've already got the gather DB wowhead, right? Yeah, we got that. And then let's get rid of this one. And bartender. Download an ad blocker? Nah, whatever. No time. No time. I've lived this long without it. Don't need it. Omen 3. I've actually already got. The thing is, a lot of these add-ons I already have. You know what I mean? I haven't looked at the roadmap. No. Simple unit frames we don't need. Tight place we don't need. We don't need. Week or 4 we definitely want this. Retail UI. I don't know. We'll grab it just for the hell of it. We might check it. We might play around with it just to see if we like it. Automatically accepting and turning quests. We probably do want that. Quest completed enables you to see what quests you completed. Dragonflight action bar. I don't. Why do we need that when we've got the other one? That might be worth. If we can do the Dragonflight action bar outside of using the Dragonflight minimap, that actually might be worth using. And postal could be useful. Plate bus, Wayfield's bus, and US weather nameplates. Yeah, that could be useful. Rally power could be useful. I'm not going to worry about threat. I don't care about the threat. I wonder which version of mixed scrolling battle text they're using. What I don't like about this is how do I know which version? I don't like how this is not add-ons. Yeah. Where's the roadmap? We'll take a look at the roadmap here in a minute. Play without add-ons. We can play without add-ons. There's only certain ones that I really like to. That I really feel like I have to have. Like a lot of these, like postal. I don't need postal, but we'll grab it just so we have it. But Whether or not we use it, I have no idea. Pretty action bar. Lightweight action bar add-on Dragonflight style. Choose between styles. This one or this one. I mean, this one could be useful. This one will only be useful if we can customize how many bars show up, where they show up, and how big it is. If I can't scale it and I can't show or hide bars, like if I can't make this bar, like the transparency of it different, then it's probably not going to be worth using. So yeah, you seen the announcements from today? Yeah, I'll take a look at it here in a second. All right. PF Quest Master we already got. Let's delete that. So we've got the action bar, pretty action bar, the postal. Let's grab these. Postal. Yeah, these are just you're right, Blue. You called it. Those are just the GitHub branch names. Quick Quest. What I hate about these links here is it doesn't tell what version. These links that are jumping to the file like this. How do I know which version of WoW this is? But we're going to grab this because the Quick Quest could be useful. It says it's Wrath of the Lich King, which is fine because Wrath of the Lich King should be the one that we should be using. Probably. And I'm going to jump out of... Can't we just sell gold? Yeah. All right. Can't wait to see you get banned for selling gold on Epoch. Quest. Really? Well, that was annoying. Here, on a second. All right, let's take a look at let's get out of all this. We need to make sure that we have, all right, Paladin, Project Epoch. Whatever. Where's their wiki? Let's grab this really quick. Well, I'll come back and inspect this a little bit later. Let's close all of this. I don't need that. And you said it was in the announcements from today. So let's take a look. Discord. This video looks like a waste of time. Cool. Yeah, I didn't see this. This is cool. With 1 week left until Project Epoch, name reservation is in 2 days. We know this is on the 22nd, which is what, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. And it goes live. We wanted to give a reminder about important upcoming dates and a big shout out to Toscar for helping create the images below. Hover over the above to see, okay, for more information, ready to launch. We'll take a look at that in a minute. We'll also take a look at this. We got launch times. Okay, so 12 p.m. EDT. Okay, cool. And we're also happy to share our roadmap. Let's take a look at this. This is cool. The roadmap's awesome. This is great. I didn't know this was there. So roadmap 2025. So patch 1.01 into the flames. So launch is 2607. So we're going to be in the first patch, right? Now, the season 1, which is patch 1.1.0, I'm going to assume this is about 2 weeks out. I believe they said it was going to be a couple weeks before they released season 1. Maybe it'll be. I hope it's longer than a couple weeks. World map in WoW art style is crazy. What, this one? Yeah, yeah. It's cool that they did the world map using the WoW, like the WoW art style. Yeah, I agree. I didn't even notice that, Danny. That's actually really neat. Probably some sort of add-on he used or something. I don't know. There are map makers out there that might have like, you can like load the map maker and then you might be able to pull some sort of like a template, and there might be like a WoW template for making maps. So we'd have to ask that person that he thanked for that. So it's 5 weeks the first read, 8 weeks for the first PvP season. Oh, see, that's good. That's good. So 8 weeks for season 1. Does it? It doesn't show the times. It shows that. Yeah, it does show that. I agree. So Jin, is there anywhere where we can get dates? Her dates are approximate. Yeah, but there's no dates. I mean, other than summer, autumn, winter. It's just that's it. There's no dates to attach to any of this stuff. So other than just like autumn, generic. So, but if you're saying that 5 weeks for the first raid and 8 weeks for the first PvP season, season 1 is going to be 8 weeks. So, which is a lot longer than I thought. I thought they would probably go like 4 weeks. That gives people 8 weeks to level up their characters. You know what I mean? New raid Aldum. Yeah, they're doing the new raid. Yep. Yeah, we just know for sure that it's a 5 weeks for the MC only and 8 weeks for PvP. That's it? Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. This is why I stream, so you guys can tell me what the hell's going on. Yeah, so 8 weeks. So that gives us 8 weeks, 2 months to level up, which is a lot, which is a good amount of time, especially for me, since I can't put any amount of time into games as I used to. And then season 1, we got Arena. It's going to start. We got the new battlegrounds are going to be available probably. Gilly Jim's Isle, which I believe is in Stranglethorn Vale and Arathi Basin. And then patch 1.2.0, Echoes of Stone Talon. So I'm assuming this is going to be the new Stone Talons dungeon. Yep. And the new Battlefield Alterac Valley. And then the next patch, Deck of Delights. I like how they carry these Deck of Delights. Dark Moon Fair, new cosmetic gear. That's pretty. I like how they've titled these, these titles of these patches are great. Echoes of Stone Talon, we got the new Stone Talon Caverns, Deck of Delights, Dark Moon Fair decks, the cosmetic gear, Secrets of All, the new Oldham Raid, and of course the Call to War, the new Arena Season 1. AV is going to be just like Winter Grasp. Oh, so they're going to have like quests. So it's going to be like every Winter Grasp, every 3 hours? Is Winter Grasp every 3 hours? So you can only queue for AV every so often. I think it was every 3 hours, wasn't it? Winter Grasp. Every 3 hours, yep. So Winter Grasp took place every 3 hours. Large scale PvP zone. Okay, so I was right. Cool. Let's go ahead and grab this, right? And I mean, I probably already have this on my Discord, right? I think, do we have Epoch? Epoch News. Yeah, I do. So I already have my Discord for Project Epoch is already plugged into Project Epoch. So we're automatically getting updates to my news section here for Project Epoch. So that's good. So I just didn't see that yet. Yeah, that's cool. And I'm terrible with times. 12 p.m. EDT. I always forget what that is. So 12 p.m. EDT would be, so it's the same. EDT is the same as EST. I always forget that. Okay. So it's going to be 12 o'clock. Yeah. Let's go back to this real quick. Road to launch. Name reservation launcher updates. We're pleased to announce a lot of work has been spent updating our launcher. And we also streamlined development process. Okay, recruitment. Our community has grown a lot in the past week. We decided we need to expand our team, which, with that in mind, we're going to open up applications for following roles. Oh, so we can. Oh, here. Give me a moderator game working primarily in game. Game master application. Do we want to be a game master? I don't think I have the free time to do it, to be honest. They need community moderators and a game master. We're probably in game issues. Our game master serves as the go-to support for character bugs, rule abuse, and more. It should be noted, the game masters will rarely actually go in-game, as the project UI team has built a web-based admin panel to properly resolve the majority of cases. Okay. Yeah. Too bad they don't have like a developer position. If they had a developer position, I'd apply for that. And I did talk to one of their community moderators already about, I talked to Wilbur already, but he said, they will never post like developer positions on the Epoch Discord. So, so if they do open up a developer position, it'll be posted on some other website, which I don't really go to. Apparently there's a website out there for like private server development. And I guess there's a whole community of people that just, do development for WoW private servers. So, yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, they've been working on this for a long time. So, I mean, they do have supporters. Like if you go to the Project Epoch Discord and you go to donate section and go to Project Epoch, I mean, you can see on their GitHub here on Project Epoch, blah, 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 Project Epoch GitHub. They do currently have 56 sponsors, right? So all these people that sponsor the project, and I'm a sponsor. So you can see this is me here. I'm actually sponsoring Project Epoch. I mean, I just give them $5 a month. I mean, it's nothing, I know, but I just wanted to, it's better than nothing, I guess, right? But I mean, $5 by me, and you've got the 56 people. So if everybody gives $5, you're looking at $250, right? So I say, what is it, 30 or $280? What's 56 times 5? Is that 280? Yeah, 280. So that's not, I mean, that might help pay for the server cost at least. Maybe. I'm not sure how much it costs anymore to host a server. Server cost is really the big deal, yeah. Just paying for the server hosting. So yeah. And I don't really go to the Discord too much because it's kind of a cesspool, the Epoch one. It's not great. It was weird. Like when I used to pose questions on there, I'd never get a response. But then that one time I was doing a stream and I actually said, well, watch, when I post on here, no one ever answers my questions. And of course, during the stream, when I posted a question, I got like 3 responses. And I'm like, man, this never happens. Like normally if I ask a question on their Discord server, like it's like crickets, man. But did you guys, we watched the metrics video last night where he was talking about how big I don't know if you guys, did you guys see that last night when I was streaming? Yeah, let me show you. If you didn't get a chance, I'll show it again really quick.
No, don't worry, it hasn't launched yet. I think it's pretty clear that Project Epoch is going to be one of the biggest launches ever. But I was not expecting this to show up in the stupid stress test. It's actually going to be huge. I wasn't there.
I love metrics. Metrics cracks me up.
But apparently a ton of people chose to be there for the stress test. And if this could be like 1/5 or 1/10 of the players that are actually going to play on the live launch, I don't know, Blizzard. Maybe banning their YouTube account is not going to be enough. And if you're just like me, I don't mean buffed like me, but if you're also into World of Warcraft private servers, then you want to check out gtop100.com, the video sponsor. Like 99% of these survey one of the viewers on our community Discord. So if
yeah, well, yeah, but this guy's great. Vols, I've been watching metrics for a couple years. He's a really small streamer, but he just covers mostly private servers. But he's just funny. He's like a funny guy. And if you go to his channel, he cracks me up. But he covers a lot of, like, if you go to just go to his channel and you look, it's all private server stuff, right? Like he does videos on like what's the best like Burning Crusade private server? What's the best, you know, Fell Song? That's a private server. My experience playing Fell Song, which is a private server. Just go back. It's all like here, the most hype WoW private servers of 2025. I mean, he's one of the few streamers that really just covers private. Yeah, I know Vals, but he's one of the few streamers that really covers like private servers kind of religiously. Plus, he's buff, dude. It always cracks me up when you see these guys that are buff, but dude, this guy's pretty buff. Look at that arm. But he's funny, and actually, out of curiosity, I sent him a message last night on Discord because I always kind of joke. Yeah, I know YouTube is so bad. It's like it's always like all about the clickbait, right? It's like totally about the clickbait, but I like how I always say that like most streamers I can't streamers because I can't handle streamers because they're just egotistical assholes, right? So one of the things I do with smaller streamers is I'll send them a Discord message just to see if they respond. And if they respond, I give them a lot of credit because that just means they're actually a genuine person and not just some douchebag who all they care about is getting views on their channel. So I sent Metrics a Discord message last night. And I just said, what do you think about Project Epoch cross-faction trading mail communication? It's very different from most traditional classic inspired private servers. And Metrics responded. He said, I wish there were no factions. He goes, I hate I hate not being able to play with friends, And then I said, oh, okay, interesting. So you will like cross-faction. Cool. And he said, absolutely. And I said, I'll see you in Epoch. I said, I've been streaming WoW for years. I have a small channel, but know about your channel as I've played a lot of private servers. Cheers. And he said, nice. I hope we'll be able to log in and play on day one. I'll see you there. So, just cool. It's nice to see some people actually can take the time to respond to a Discord message, You get a lot of streamers like that never respond. I understand, like I said before, I understand if you're like Asmongold or somebody who's got like, 10 billion people trying to talk to you. But when you're someone who's like a small channel, 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers, and you can't respond to an honest question about a game that's content you cover, I think that's kind of lousy. So,
if you haven't joined yet, link is in the video description. Looks like it only lasted for a couple minutes. I did not expect that to work. About 2,000 of you in one tiny area. What does that mean? Were there like two?
So K-Totes is saying that apparently they had 2,000 people in one small area in the game and that it actually worked. Like it didn't crash. So that was pretty interesting.
2,000 humans or 2,000 orcs and then plus the other races? Or maybe it wasn't open in all areas, so there were literally people only in that orc zone, which would make it 2,000 in total. Instead, it's gonna be like, imagine which is of the last Discord servers of the last decade, if not the biggest.
Oh,
you can see.
I was gonna say, you see here he's talking about how big this server probably will be, right?
Launch of Epoch is very, very realistic.
So he's talking about how on Project Epoch, when you see these posts by these update posts, look how many people are responding. I mean, this is a large amount of responses. You don't typically see this on private servers where someone posts something. You don't see like, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 responses.
And it will literally make it one of the biggest World of Warcraft private server launches of the last decade, if not the biggest. And you can see every Discord post, these are just updates. This is updates channel, has hundreds of reactions. When you go to announcements, these announcements are getting like 1,500 reactions. You never see this on any other World of Warcraft private server Discord servers. Not like this. And I myself even rarely react to any post. I just read through it and move on. Here's a Reddit post with a screenshot of the stress test saying there's 1,704 people found. And all that we can see is people in Durotar and one person Dunmorrow. So I wonder if only Durotar was open or there were other zones open as well. And then people commenting there were actually 2,000 players. It went up that high. And that's the data we got on that Discord update post. Was very impressed with the performance. Was consistently at 30 to 35 ms the whole time. Honestly felt better than Blizzard and without layers. Yo, this is one thing I'm hoping we're gonna get. No layering, no sharding or any of that BS. So we can literally see the open world and all the people that are in it. I'm not sure people understand the significance.
It was 2K Orcs Trolls with free-for-all PvP enabled. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's sad that genuine human action is what we crave nowadays. There's a lot of epic hype on Turtle WoW too. Yeah, I haven't played on Turtle WoW in a while, but I did see a video where someone who was a turtle wow. Actually, I think even this guy, even this guy here,
Not a big deal.
Metric is currently playing on Turtle WoW, and he's saying he may temporarily stop playing on Turtle WoW just so he can try out Epoch.
1,700 people. It's 1,700 people in 1 years anywhere. This server's coming out on Saturday, by the way, in just a couple of days from now. Not gonna reach 10K. Wow.
So this is pretty funny. This guy said it's not going to reach 10K. WoW Turtle is the most popular, and its peak is 9K. First off, that's wrong. There were times in Turtle WoW where it reached 14,000. I know because I was on the server when that happened. So there were times where Turtle WoW had way more than 9K. Okay. Actually, it wasn't 14K. I think it was 11.5 or 12, but it was definitely more than 9K. As far as saying this is not going to reach 10K, I think it's really hard to know nowadays because there's so many games that have come out, and not even like I think the MMO community, the MMO genre, has been bleeding MMO players to other genres because they're just people are tired of waiting for a good MMO. There could be people playing like Dune Awakening. Maybe they're off playing something else. There's a lot of games that are out there. But I do think that the MMO space is bleeding people. I don't think there's as many people playing MMOs now as there used to be, just because they're tired of waiting for a good MMO, you know. So, but will it reach 10K on launch day? I don't. It's so tough. It's so tough, you know. I think, yeah, I have no doubts at all. I mean, there'll easily be 5K, and they did say there was going to be a queue. Yeah, I know that K-Toad said that once it reaches 5,000, he said they're going to instigate a queue. So they're not going to let more than 5,000 people in initially. He said once the people spread out across Azeroth, you know, and they're more spread out, then they'll let more people in. But initially, when they're all in the starting areas, he said if it reaches 5K, it's definitely going to be a queue, which I think is the right way to go. That's the right way to go. That's not true. That's also not true, second, because I've been on private servers that have that many people, and it may not be great. You may have a lot of lag, but it'll still be playable. Like it'll still be playable. Like let's see, what was that server? If you go here, this is when Northdale, right? This is when the Northdale private server launched, right? This is pretty crazy. Because so when Northdale launched, there were well over 9,000 people in game because Northdale had a /who that allowed you to see, everybody who was in game. You can see all my add-ons were all fucked up because I forgot to disable my add-ons before I logged in, and I was too afraid to log out because the client would crash. And so these are like add-ons I don't even normally use. I don't use all this crap. But anyways, you can see how many people are in the server. And you can see it's fairly responsive, right? This is with well over 9,000 people on launch. Yeah, and you can see it. Yeah, 14. You got up to 14K. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah. So to sit here and say that 5,000 is unplayable is inaccurate. Okay. This is with. Yeah, this was Northdale launch. So it can definitely handle. I mean, wow, the WoW original client was meant to handle about 2,500 connections to maybe 3,500. It was around 25 to 3,500 is what they were kind of hoping to get on the client. You know, that's what they thought that was. You know, when they were doing quests and spreading out players across the realm, I think that's what they were targeting. Is maybe we'll have 2,000, 3,000 people, connections. So, but. Yeah, 5,000 is fine. Yeah. I'm not talking about the lag mainly, but the quest mobs. Yeah, I mean, but you can still do it. Like what happened on Northdale is it was so crowded that people were making groups. Like you'd get in a group with like 2-3 people, and you would literally stand in one spot on the map and just wait for a mob to spawn, right? So let me check this out. I'm not even sure if I picked up any of the quests. Let's see if I get to. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm not giving up. Yeah, here you can see it's actually happening. See this? MVP. I tried to invite my group. People actually will get in a group. They'll just stand in one spot, waiting for a mob to spawn because it was more effective than trying to run around. Because you try to run to the next mob, there's always someone standing there to kill it. So people figure out a way to get the quest done. You can do the quest. It's not obviously ideal, but you can certainly. And that's with like 9,000 or 14,000. It may look terrible, and I agree it's not ideal, but it doesn't last long. It's only for a couple hours. Once that, it'll do that for like 2 or 3 hours, then people start to spread out. Also, I'm sure they're going to speed up the spawn rates. Well, they were there pretty fast. So if they increase the spawn rates, that'll fix a lot of the issues, because you'll just knock those quests out quick. The key is to get people out of the starting zones as fast as possible. So if you do the spawn rates really fast, that'll help make hyper spawns. But again, second, it isn't a big deal because it doesn't take long. The worst part is if you get something like this. So that was like Northdale Lights Hope, which was amazing. Like the amount of people connections they handled was nothing like I'd ever seen before. And Manimal, you're right. I think Northdale was legendary because it was the most connections I've ever seen on a WoW vanilla client, and the client still ran like at a reasonable, still like there was lag, but it was consistent lag. It wasn't like huge spikes or anything. It was a consistent lag. The response was consistent, so the server was operating the best it could. But then there was something like classic WoW launch, right? Here, this is day one launch in 2019 of classic World of Warcraft. And it was awful. It was way worse than Northdale. Like you would go up and I'm like hitting my attack and my character wouldn't literally attack for literally like about 4 or 5 seconds. Right? Like I'm spamming attack, waiting. It was free.
Hey Patrick, it's Westfall. Patrick, there's a 5K queue to get into Westfall?
So this was bad. Like the classic launch was way worse than a lot of the private server launches I've seen, like way worse. And they were doing like layers and it still was worse, I think the main for me is going to probably be the Hunter, but the Hunter and the Paladin are the classes I'm looking at leveling. I was looking at the Rogue though, and we have to keep in mind that this server could be pretty, I know it's a multi-billion-dollar company and they couldn't, like the Northdale to me launch was way better from a server performance point of view than the WoW Classic launch. And you're going from just maybe a team of 20 people doing a private server to a team of, a billion-dollar company, right?
Is going to be based on the Wrath of Lich King client, which I personally prefer. Shamans are not faction locked, so it's going to be Alliance Shamans on Vanilla Plus finally. There's so many changes. Can I actually see it on their website? And of course, the video is always sponsored. I'm off so I can play it on the launch day. We've added over 1,600 new quests, ensuring
I love metrics. He cracks me up.
every level range from 1 to 60 is packed with fresh stories.
It is dirty
challenges,
business.
And discoveries. Our goal to make leveling an adventure, not a chore. Expansion worthy. So much new stuff.
It's crazy. Like when you look at the changes to the classes, I think, all the class like Rogue looks really. The Rogue is super exciting because of the axe proficiency. I mean, going through that video by what was it, Muzzy? Is that his name? Muzzy TV, right?
Hello and welcome in.
Yeah, going through this video on the Rogue, right? It made me want to play Rogue. But the one thing I don't like about Rogue is the fact that you almost do end up getting put into PvP more than you might have. Like, I think it depends on how you want to approach. Like, you have to determine how do you want to approach. Yeah, how do you want to approach leveling? Do you want to approach leveling by turning war mode on and doing tons and tons of PvP? And if you are going to do that, then playing Rogue is obviously a great way to go, because rogues are going to be fantastic in PvP. Also, shamans. I don't know, man. I've never been very good with shamans. I would say that I'm a terrible shaman player. Even though I've played shamans very little. Whenever I've played them, I've always liked them. The one thing I didn't like about shamans, I finally figured out, is I didn't like standing while casting. I didn't like channeling. I didn't like channeling cast. Same thing with Warlock. Like the reason I never could get into Warlocks too much in vanilla was there were too many times when I couldn't move because I was casting a spell. Maybe I was casting like a life drain, or I was casting like a soul drain or whatever, or life drain or shadow bolt or whatever. It was just a lot of time just standing still. And I definitely like to play characters that are more mobile. That's why I really like the hunter, because I can pretty much move almost constantly while I'm playing, which I really like that more mobile play style. And then the paladin is so funny because I love paladins, and paladins are completely different. You're not very mobile as a paladin, but the whole point of the paladin isn't really to be mobile. The whole point of the paladin is just to stand there and say, "Go ahead and hit me, bro," and just and just watch how you die by trying to kill me because you can't hit through my defenses. But that's only against melee. Once you go up against casters as a paladin, as a protection paladin, you kind of get owned. So it's kind of sucks, but I think the rogue is going to be really interesting. The axe profession with bleed and bleeds, having a chance to refresh slice and dice is super nice. I just keep thinking flurry axe, man, flurry axe, and I just keep seeing rogues running around with dual flurry axes. You know what I mean? But when you say paladins are more mobile compared to warriors, no, warriors are a lot more mobile because warriors can charge into battle. And they also probably are going to have like intercept, so they have a little bit more mobility than a paladin. Paladins don't have any kind of movement abilities like that, and druids, of course, are super mobile. Yeah. Druids, rogues obviously have sprint and shadow step. So rogues have sprint, shadow step. Druids have they have like sprint, and I don't know if they have pounce and TBC, but they have some mobility. They have some good mobility things going on there, and then. The fact that they can break out of roots and stuff by shapeshifting is great. Yeah, I said intervene. I did say intervene too, Otto. I said charge and intervene, but they've got charge and intervene. And it's so cool too. I don't know if we still have the stance dancing in the Wrath of Lich King client. I think we do. We have we've got that. Let's fire that up really quickly and see. I don't know if I have a warrior on my Warmind account. Let's take a look. Just so we can see, I think we still have stance dancing, right? We still have all the defensive and all the different stances that we can switch. Do I have a warrior? No, I don't have a warrior here. So unfortunately, let me change realms. I don't think I have one on Lord Iran. Paladin Priest, yeah, I don't. So, and then Blackrock. So yeah, I don't. But I think. We do have a rogue, 10 rogue, level 10. Seeing what's the highest level rogue I've got. 12, level 12 rogue. So, but I think there is a part of me that would love to play rogue. There is definitely a part of me that would love to just start off Project Epoch and just roll a rogue, man. Just go straight rogue. And the reason for that is that from a PvP point of view, rogues are just really good, and we can turn on war mode, and we don't have to really be worried about getting ganked too much because we can just vanish. We have so many utilities to get away if we want to, but we can also kill people because we're a fucking rogue, right? So I think rogue would be really fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a poll on my channel, ask you guys what you think. I mean, hunter's gonna be fun too, but man, I just can't get out of my head that rogues can use axes. I just can't stop thinking about. I'm thinking about a rogue with dual flurry axes. That's just going to be so like overpowered. It has to be overpowered. Now, how do we get flurry axes? I mean, they're not supposed to be gold selling on the server, and they're not allowing boosting or GDKP. So getting gold should be done the old-fashioned way, just doing it the way you should do it. Selling, manipulating the auction house, just grinding for money, stuff like that. So, anyways, but I'm going to take a break. Yeah, I mean, I think the flurry axes are going to be like 500. Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be at least 500 gold. And rogue is a good solo class too, Manimal. Best professions for gold. I think alchemy is always really good. Alchemy is a great profession for gold. I would imagine alchemy is always a solid choice. Enchanting is really good, but it doesn't pay off as much in the early game as it does in the end game. Once you get to max level, everybody's going to want to get their gear enchanted. So, especially on a PvP server. So, enchanting is a great way to make money. Herbing and mining will be good gold in the beginning, because you can just sell everything. like manimals, right? Like a lot of times you can just go herbing and mining and sell everything and worry about your professions a little bit later. The skinners, have you seen, hey, where have you seen the recipes from, Jen? Are you just talking about the ones that they showed on the website? I mean, and they have the leatherworking has the leg armor. Is if the leg armor stuff isn't soulbound when crafted, isn't bind on pickup. You know what I mean? Then that could make quite a bit of money because there's the leg armor. It's kind of like, you know, how you have sharpening stones for blacksmiths. Leatherworkers have the ability to make the leg armor that increases stuff like attack power and stuff. So those type of reusable leg armor kits that you can give to people are probably going to make quite a bit of money. So yeah. Yeah, I love dragon scales, man. Just from screenshots during the beta and the stress tests. Dude, I love the RP aspect of dragon scaling. I've always loved dragon scale leatherworking just because it just feels so fantasy, right? I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm a big fan of fantasy. And so I always, even though dragon scaling like totally like blows, to be honest, it's not that great because there's just so few dragon scale recipes in vanilla WoW. I just love the ability to like kill a dragon mob and skin them and hope that I get like a black dragon scale. It just feels good to get. You're like, oh cool, black dragon scale, red dragon scale, blue dragon scale. This is so awesome. You know, I can craft something out of dragon scales. I mean, it's just such a cool fantasy element. So I would be so tempted to make a rogue or a hunter, and I'm actually probably there's a good chance that I will go like dragon scale leatherworking on one of those characters. So just for the whole fantasy aspect of it. But I do think that the herbalism is really strong for the paladin, just because paladin's weakness in PvP is going to be magic, and so getting those extra resistances from herbalisms, I think is going to be really useful. So yeah, so you might be able to make some money if some of those sets are really good. Um, you know, maybe you can make some money off of them. You know, I mean, there's going to be a lot of shamans on the alliance side just because. But and here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing: the auction house is cross faction, right? The auction house is cross faction, so it's going to be easier to make money because there's going to be more people with access to the auction house. You know, because both factions are going to see the same stuff. So that should help. You know, so I don't even know. I mean, you guys in the stream, you guys need to help me make money. I mean, I'm not saying give me money in the game, but you guys, although you can do that too if you want. But what I'm saying is, if you guys have good ways to make money, let me know, because I'm not the best person at making money. Wow, because I'm a scatterbrain, man. I get in the game and I'm like, oh, look at that cool tree over there. You know, or look at this cool look at this cool pet. Oh, I want to tame this pet, even though it's like 10 levels beneath my hunter. I'm like, look at this cool pet. I've never had one of these before. You know what I mean? That's me. I'll be so distracted by new things that I'll be wanting to explore and check out the new stuff and like, oh, this is cool. Instead of really focusing on progression and trying to make money, I'll be more about just learning. Oh, you know, what's the new stuff? What's this or what's that? Let me try this build. Let me try that build. You know, I'll dick around, or I'll be talking to people on the stream like I am now for 30 minutes and not even playing my character, because that's just how scatterbrained I am. You know what I mean? Skinning. Since you won't make much money with HRLN. Yeah, because nobody's gonna really have money. You know what I always do? Automata on a fresh server, when everything's brand new and it's my first character and I have no money, I always go herbalism and skinning and I sell everything. That's what I usually do. I go herbalism, skinning. I sell everything until I get to about level 20, and then around level 20, I start thinking, okay, what profession do I want to go with? But up to that point, I just, you know, and usually at some point, I'm either gonna pick alchemy or leatherworking. Like if I'm playing like a hunter and I'm doing herbalism and skinning, usually I'm like, well, am I gonna stick with leatherworking or am I gonna go with alchemy? And so then at some point I'll save some of the herbs or save some of the leather to, you know, to jumpstart the profession. But usually for the first 10 levels for sure, I sell everything, like every herb, every leather. Yeah, Taylor Channing is great. I mean, you're going to be broke, but it's going to be really good for making your character strong. I mean, tailoring and enchanting is really good for increasing the power of your warlock, you know, for giving your warlock, and you're going to be able to make the wand and stuff like that, and which will be great. I probably should get in a guild. But the thing is, I don't play very well with others, and I'm really picky about having a guild tabard that looks nice. So usually what I do is I create my own guild. I usually just play solo, and then eventually I create my own guild. And then just so I can create like a really, usually I'll create like a cool guild, cool tabard. I mean, the one that I liked a lot was, let me see if I can, I think it was on Grobulus. Let me check. Grobulus. Grobulus. Okay, well, it's not this account. Oh, wait. Change realm. Anniversary. No. It sucks when you have multiple WoW accounts. Hi, babe. What's up? Yes, he did. He's lying to you. Yeah, I fed him. Oh, it was? Okay. Okay, cool. I'll dump it in his thing here in a minute. Yeah, I will. Hi, how you doing? We're just talking about the new private server that's coming up. Yeah. You were asleep? I figured you were. That's why I didn't come out there. Okay, love you, babe. Cataclysm. You were planning to play Paladin, but you're switching to BM Hunter? Yeah, BM's great for leveling. You know what I mean? It's going to be great for leveling. I mean, it's going to be good for BGs too. BM's really strong at the beginning of TBC, and you know, this is kind of a TBC talent system, and it's very strong. So, anyways, I was going to go to like I always like to create like my own guilds, and just because I love to have like a cool looking tabard. I'm stupid that way. I'm really dumb that way. But like, check out this character, like this paladin. I mean, look at this. This is what I want my character to look like. You know, I've got like here's my guild tabard on this. This is the guild that I created on Grobulus, and the guild's called just simply Blue Dragons, right? And I've got the blue tabard with the cool little, what looks like almost like a dragon's claw on there. I've got the really cool guild, the guild like cosmetic thing here going on, which is I think, it's the Wrap of Unity, right? It just teleports the caster to Stormwind on a 4-hour cooldown, but it's got a really cool look to it, right? And then just some basic transmog stuff, but I always like keep creating like a cool looking tabard, something like this. It just looks nice, looks good on a paladin. But I was Seek, so you know, I'm kind of like Andre Agassi, man. Image is everything. Like I care a lot of times almost more like how good my character looks than how quickly I progress. You know what I mean? I'm not too worried about being like first on the server to anything. To me, it's all about just having fun. So as long as I'm having fun, that's the most important thing. But it would be really useful, obviously, on a fresh server to be a part of a good guild that helps each other. You know, like Jin's talking about that, and it's really super useful if you can get into a really friendly guild where people are working together to. Plus, the thing that's going to be invaluable on Project Epoch is because there's so much new stuff as far as like loot and dungeons, that being in a guild, people are gonna talk about that stuff. So you're gonna learn so quickly. You know, you have to be like a sponge and absorb all the new stuff that people are finding. Oh, I found this new recipe, or oh, I found this new dungeon, or oh, I found like this sword, and oh, this NPC has this quest. That when you do this quest, you get this really cool like item enchantment. You know what I mean? Those types of things are things you're gonna learn from people in your guild. And so that's why being in a really friendly, preferably larger guild could be really, really useful on a server like this that's starting from where everybody's starting from level 1, because you know you can play like a regular private server, vanilla server, and you don't need a guild because if you've played the game like me ever since 2004, you know pretty much everything. It's like I already know everything about vanilla WoW. I know how to do most of the quests. I know where things are. I don't need someone to tell me. But in Project Epoch, that's not going to be the case. You know. Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to level this. It's almost always fun. It's never. I mean, it's fun and it's not fun. Like leveling your first character on a realm when you have no money. You start off and you're like, okay, I've got 0 money. I've got no bags. This is my only character. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's also fun because it's the beginning of something, you know, and the beginnings are always fun. But then when you get that character, like let's say level 45 or 50, And then you start leveling up your, yeah, in the bag space. Oh, I hate it's the, don't even bring that up. That's the one thing I hate in MMOs more than anything is bag space. Oh, I hate it. That's the other thing we need. We need to make sure we have an add-on that auto sells gray junk, because we do not want to be spending time trying to manually like sell stuff. And I think there's several different ones for TBC, but I love carrying ammo and shards. They did increase ammo stacks. I'm going to assume they probably also increased shard stacks, but I'm pretty sure ammo stacks go up to like 250, I think. And also they increase the amount of slots that most of the quivers and the ammo pouches have. So like in original vanilla, you know what I mean? It stacks, yeah, in the original vanilla, if like a specific like heavy quiver was like eight slot bag, it's probably like a 10 or a 12 slot bag now. So they've definitely tried to reduce that pain point a little bit. So that's good, right? Globulus. Do we have, what about, I'll show you guys this one character that's really fun. Let's go to World of Warcraft Classic, Hardcore. Yeah, they did add a bit of quality of life. But I'm still not sure what main class. I'm going to have to think about it like a lot today. I mean, we have until the 26th. I've got 6 days to finalize my plans on what class and what professions, right? So this class, I want to show you guys this class because this character is actually kind of fun. This is a level 39 warrior that I leveled from level 1 entirely only using gray gear, no professions that could help her whatsoever. With that, you know what I mean? So this character, I leveled from level 1 entirely in gray gear only. And what's interesting about that is it's very difficult. This is a hardcore server. Look at my gear. Reinforced, this is everything I'm wearing is gray. And just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see that. Kind of hard to see with the filters. There you go. You can see these are gray items, right? Yeah, it's kind of like Iron Man. So what's interesting about this though is there's very little gray gear in vanilla WoW. Like it's so little. Like there's like literally like, for example, like gray shields. There's literally like 12 gray shields total in the game. Like that's it. There's like so few. Yeah. Oh, the playtime is crazy long, right? So 7 days, 18 hours to level 39. 7 days. And the reason it's so long is because it takes forever to kill anything. It takes forever to kill anything. So here, let's see if I can remember how to play this character. So do we have, I don't see it. Where is it? All right. So we'll try to kill a turtle. And we're trying not to get my character killed because I've spent 7 days on this character. Okay, so we've got weapon swap. We can weapon swap to a shield and a mace here. I can also weapon swap to dual weapons, right? I'm gonna go to shield mace. Right. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that guy. That sucks because it's gonna put me into combat. I'm gonna be in combat until he kills this guy. All right, cool. We're just overpower. So we're going for Sunder armor. We're sundering the heck out of this guy.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
We're going shield block here. We could probably finish him up. We could probably finish him off with dual wield, but I haven't played this character in so long. I'm being really careful because I don't want to die. Okay, there you go. And I was being really careful because I haven't played this character in a long time, and I don't want to die on this character because I spent 7 days getting her to level 39 in Grey Gear only. But you can see it's, you know, it takes time to kill mobs. Am I a skinner? Oh, and I'm a skinner. Look at that. So the only thing I let my character do was I let my character buy scrolls from the scroll vendor. Outside of that, all my professions are I have tailoring, first aid, and cooking. The reason I grabbed tailoring is so that I could make bags. And so far I haven't been able to make yeah, I made these. I made the small silk bags you can see made by Shady Moon. But anyways, I'm gonna head out for now, guys. I gotta go. I gotta do some stuff, but I'll come back and play in a bit. A little bit later. I'm not sure what I'm gonna play. I gotta figure out something to play. Cause I have no idea. I shouldn't be running through the water. I'll run right into a shark. All right. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.